in its most basic form is also energy. So it makes sense that people would think that the subconscious is a mind because it feels like thought. But once you can tell the difference, there's ways to discern when a impulse is coming from the subconscious versus when a thought is coming from the mind. And there's different things you can do with questions. And part of this work is about figuring out how to discern when it's coming from the mind, which is a thought, versus when it's coming from the subconscious, which is an impulse. Now that's important because the mind can relate the normally unrelated, right? I said the mind can create in the field of possibilities. It can draw connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, whereas the brain and the subconscious, it's all about associations. It's the past. If you look at habits, habits were formed in the past. When you consider that the brain processes 11 million bits of information per second, that's associations. They're already there. Now, I say largely from the past because I can get into deep practice for the future. I can visualize the future and use deep practice, and I can create new associations for the future. And when I do that, then obviously those are new associations. And this is in part how we start resetting the habits. We apply deep practice with visualization, and we also move the subconscious below the conscious mind. We have to rethink the stimulus response cycle. So most people have heard of the stimulus response cycle. There's a cause and effect. The stimulus happens, and then there's a response. You remember Pavlov's dogs. He would ring a bell, give food, salivate, ring a bell, give food, salivate. And then he would ring the bell without the food, and they would salivate. Very, very basic example, but it applies over and over and over. The other thing that's really interesting is that we make 33,000 choices a day. Again, research this. You don't have to take my word for it.